Hi,
All right.
how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you?
You're in the gym.
Yeah, I'm in the gym at the back of my house here. So
Oh
out
well,
here.
this is going to be one of my questions that I want to ask you about was to talk about this gym that you have in your house. Like, how lucky are you?
Oh yeah, very grateful to have it here. There's everything we need: full size ring, bags, strength and conditioning, treadmills, everything's
Oh,
here. So,
unbelievable! How long have you had that gym in your house?
my dad built it when we were really young. So since we were about 11, 12 years old, it's gradually like got better as we moved on. So it's
It's
what.
it it looks absolutely huge,
Yeah,
unreal.
big to it.
So when I was talking to you about coming on, I wasn't sure whether you were still in the States or if you were home. So I mean, obviously, your dad used to box, right?
Yeah, he was a boxer. Yeah.
So your dad's a boxer, you've yourself, Aaron, and then is there not another brother as well that
Yeah,
boxes?
Yeah, my older brother Gary, he was boxing as well. He was Irish champion. So all three of us were Irish champions at the one year, the one
So
time.
this must be totally just grand for you. You can just spar away, you can train, it's all good.
Yeah, we all often sparred here, all three of us. You know,
Yeah,
took them
brilliant.
out here. Yeah, so it's great to have it here at the back of our house.
100%. If people will watch this now, they'll be trying to be up in Monaghan trying to find out where this gym is so they can get a few spars in.
Yeah,
So listen, talk to me. I mean, like for a lot of the newer kind of, we'll say, casual boxing fans, they might not know who you are. You've just started your professional career. But anyone who knows anything about Irish amateur boxing, the amateur scene, will of course know yourself and your brother. Um, like you've had an incredible journey in your amateur career. If it ended after amateur, you kind of could walk away and be like, "Do you know what? I had a great career." Talk to us about that time. What are some of your favorite memories from being amateur?
yeah, the very successful amateur career. I was Irish Elite champion, Youth Commonwealth Games champion, and European silver medalist, all in the one year. So, uh, won a lot of Irish titles, and both me and Aaron, and my other brother Gary, as you say, we were all Irish champions in the one year. But I had a very successful amateur career, and probably the highlight was winning the Irish Elites. You know,
Mm.
2015, then 2015, and then moving on now into the pro ranks, and I'm hoping to do the same.
Absolutely. I mean, like I think the senior elite title. I mean, all of the titles that you can win at European level, the Irish titles, they're all important. But I think a lot of the amateur guys now, it's the Irish senior title. That's the one that they're eyeing up. It's kind of like safe to say if you can get yourself a senior title, then you've got a promising career leading on after that. If you do decide to go into amateur. Obviously, boxing has been in your family for so long. It's obviously been all you can remember. But was your dad fighting at any stage when you were young? Can you remember your dad like training hard and going out and fighting?
Well, he fought when he was younger, and then he moved
Mm.
on into martial arts. He was in karate, so he fought worldwide in karate. He was in the national team in it, so he used to have out here. He used to train out here as well when he was competing. He competed right up until he was 38, and then he came
Wow.
he teached us, coached us in boxing. He then
The Irish karate squad are absolutely raging that they lost you.
Yeah, we started off in karate, but I didn't really like it that much, and then I went to the boxing, so I
Yeah,
liked it.
what can you remember? Because it's interesting because a lot of parents will put their kids into things like karate or taekwondo or boxing, and the kids might not like it and they might go away from it. But I always find that it's a case of like throw them into everything, throw them into karate, throw them into jiu-jitsu, throw them into Muay Thai, and let them kind of see what sport they sort of gravitate towards. What was it for you? What was it about boxing that you preferred to karate?
I found karate is it was a bit boring, I thought, but
Mm.
once I went to the boxing, going in and getting hit someone, I liked it. You know, uh, both me and my two brothers went down to the boxing club. We were sparring with each other. It was very exciting when we were young. So we played GAA as well. We did a lot of
Mm.
sports when we were young. So, but boxing was the main one that we always liked the best.
Can you remember your parents, like, would they have encouraged you to like have, competitive spars or to to be like thumping the heads off each other, obviously, but to kind of like get that sort of sense of competition, a healthy competition within the three of you?
Well, not really. Like, we always pushed ourselves. Like, we always wanted to be better than each other. So if Aaron won something, I'd want to win that. My other brother Gary, you know, we were always trying to win or trying to beat each other. Even when
Absolutely.
sparring, it gets heated sometimes. That has to calm us down. You know.
But you know, it's funny because obviously, probably the apart from yourselves, the other two famous brothers in boxing that we have over here would be the Conlons, of course, like Jamie and Mick. And when I've interviewed them both, I always talk to them about, you know, obviously the competition now between the two of them, but also now that Jamie is like kind of managing Mick's career, talking from the standpoint of when you're working with your brother or when you're fighting or sparring or training alongside a brother or a sister or a family member, there's a certain level of trust there that you might not get with other people. So you always know that everything is in your best interest. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, me and Aaron coming up to fights, we work with each other, and then the coming weeks before a big fight, we spar with each other, you know, so we don't get any injuries or anything. We help each other, and that makes us better. Like, even now during this lockdown, we have each other to work with, so we do a lot of school combat with each other, and we're practicing every day, and my dad's teaching us new things, and we're working on things.
Amazing. So what was the decision for you to turn pro? Like, obviously Aaron was first to turn pro and then you made the decision. Was it a case of you kind of won everything, you'd done everything at amateur, or was it more that there was an opportunity there because of the kind of contacts that Aaron had made, or what was it?
Yeah, there was an opportunity there for me. I seen how well Aaron had started off. He was, I think, 4-0, and then I was over in New York and Las Vegas when he was fighting, and I just wanted to go in there and do the same. It was a long wait until the Olympics, and now they're postponed as well, so you never knew what would happen. So I thought it was the right time to make the move. And
are you secretly delighted now because of like everything that's happened that you did make that decision?
I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy that I turned pro. I think it was the right time in my career to turn pro, and I went and did it.
So how did the opportunity with Wildcard, Freddie Roach, how did that whole situation come about? Because I mean, like, there's Irish fighters who have dreams of working with, you know, big UK coaches or being at European gyms, but Wildcard Freddie Roach, like, that's movie stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of most fighters don't even think that they'd ever get that opportunity. Never mind, you know, like you guys being so close to him.
Yeah. Well, when we first went over there, we did a lot of sparring in the Wildcard gym, and Freddie always took an eye on us, and he always liked us, you know, us being Irish. But our management just set it up between us, you know, and Freddie was delighted when he heard that we wanted to train with him. And it's been a dream come true, really, training with Freddie Roach, watching him on the TV, you know, from when we were young, and now they're in the gym working with him. So it's a great asset to have in our team, Freddie Roach.
Completely. I mean, without your talent and without your skill, like, put that aside in a box, the opportunity to learn and to grow alongside him, like, it's unimaginable what he has done and what he can do for yourselves, you know?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Walking out into the ring with Freddie Roach in your corner.
Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like a movie. Do you know what I mean? It's like we watch those big American fights and we see Freddie Roach and we watch the interviews, and it's like you're a total fan and you're just totally like captivated by everything that he's saying because he's seen so much, he's experienced so much. You know, he is boxing. Do you know what I mean?
One of the world's greatest trainers, so
Yes.
glad to be involved with him.
What would you say has been, like, obviously aside from the what you're learning in the ring with him, but what's been the biggest thing that you've learned from him? Has he given you advice? Has he, you know, has he kind of given you anything that's given you a greater understanding of the business of boxing, I suppose?
Yeah, it's just the connection I've made with him. We've really clicked together, me and Darren, with him, and we take every bit of information he gives us. So he tells us what to work on, and we'll work on it, and we're working with him after our sparring. So he has a lot of knowledge, and we suck it all in.
What do you think is your greatest strength? You know, yourself and Aaron. Is it that you're like totally adaptable and that, you know, you've come from a situation where you've both learned together, you've grew up together, you know how to push each other. You know, when you go into a situation like working with Freddie Roach, what does he say are your kind of strong qualities, or the kind of most impressive parts or aspects of your game?
Well, our boxing ability, as long as our inside fighting, we're able to fight on the inside as well as we can on the outside, and we have great engines. We could do the same in the first round as in the last. So once we head up the rounds in the future, it'll be a huge advantage to us, because we train savagely hard and we're ready for 12 rounders even when the time comes. But
so would you agree that the secret detail is conditioning?
Well, I don't know. We work in everything. You know, we do work in everything. So.
But you've got a pretty intense like training schedule, don't you? Like you're kind of incorporating everything. I think I read something before about like you're doing your hill sprints, you're doing like strength and conditioning, you're sparring. What is a typical week?
Yeah, well, today I've trained 3 times already. I did a 4-mile run this morning, and then we went and did our strength session. And there at 5 o'clock, I did a boxing session. Me and Aaron, we did some pad work and bag. So, and then tomorrow we'll train twice, and then it's 2 times a day, 3 or 2 times. So we do our strength work, and then our running, and then our bag, and then pad work. So
is there an element that you don't like? Is there a part of being a professional fighter that you're not really, you wish you didn't have to do it?
Well, no, not really. Like I want to push myself.
Yeah.
You know, the running, it's all tough. The running stuff, the hard work stuff, but it's all worth it at the end of the fight when you're getting your hand raised. And that's what I want to put in a big effort, and then it'll all pay off. So I don't really worry about it.
Absolutely. And I mean, as well, like, I mean, 4 fights now, 4 stoppages. Like, arguably, you know, you guys are centered in the States, fighting over there. And that's sort of, you know, what the Americans are after. They want someone that's going to go in there, quick stoppages, impressive. It's all kind of like the lights and the glamour and, you know, like get in and get out kind of sort of desire that they want when they see a boxer. And that kind of seems to be now what your style, what you've created for yourself. And, you know, people are knowing you as this sort of like knockout artist, 4 knockouts, 4 wins. Is there a pressure on you to have to continue that? Like now that you go into your 5th, your 6th, your 7th fight, do you have that worry of, I have to get the stoppage, I have to get the finish?
No, I'm just gonna stay focused and keep doing what I'm doing, and if I knock them out, then I'll knock them out. But as the rounds go on, I'll be still fit for every round. Like if I don't knock them out in the first, I'll get them in the second, third, fourth. I'll keep going until I get them. But yeah, it's the entertainment business, so you have to put the bums in seats and put on skill. That's what I like to do.
I mean, how do you find it? Because, like, I mean, like I'm from Waterford, and when I started doing this, and like when I was living in Dublin and I was going to like big shows and around like people that you've watched on TV, at the start you're kind of like, I was a little bit taken back and like, oh God, I can't believe I work in this industry and these people are all around me. So for yourself, you know, to go from Monaghan to a major city in the States and to be surrounded by all these big names and being on big stages and the sort of opportunities that are opening up to you, was that a little bit overwhelming at the start, or did you just take it in your stride? Because you seem very relaxed and calm anyway.
Yeah, I took it in my stride. You know, you get used to it. It's a big change from LA to Monaghan. But,
I mean, no offense to Monaghan, it's a lovely town, but like. Can you hear me?
I'm back. Yeah, I can hear you now. I lost connection. But yeah, I took it really in my stride, and just have to keep it going.
Absolutely. So what is your schedule like? Are you only home because of like obviously the quarantining, or do you spend like a couple of weeks over there? What's the schedule like?
We're hoping now it's back.
Oh, you're broken up. Can
Yeah.
you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear?
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
We've been back for the past 8 weeks, and now we're hoping to go back sometime in June, and hopefully be fighting in August sometime. But we're not sure. We'll take each day as it comes. So hopefully we'll be back out in the middle of June, or as soon as possible.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So what I think, did I see somewhere, what's the Buddy McGirt connection? Another big name. Like, what? So impressive.
Yeah, we used to train out in Buddy McGirt's gym where when we first went out there, out in Northridge. Yeah, Buddy's a really nice
Well,
guy. Yeah, we get on well with Buddy.
what a character.
He's a hilarious character, so he is. We get on well with him.
Like, what, that must have been so, it must be such a culture shock going into those gyms, and like such big characters, and the way that the gyms are in the States are so different to what you find in an Irish gym. So how was that transition? You know, was it just kind of like a big, you know, a good time, or what was it like?
Yeah, it's good. You don't know who you'll meet once you walk into a gym, like, any all-time greats, boxers or Shane Mosley. We met him in Buddy Murph's gym as well. And Kendrick
Wow.
Lamar, he was there.
No way.
Kendrick Lamar, yeah, he was training. That's where we met him that time. But it's great, walking into the gym, and it's always good atmosphere in the gym. And
Yeah,
it's always good. Yeah, we enjoy it, so we do.
brilliant. It's so good. Talk to me about sparring, because like between yourself and Aaron, like the names that you've sparred is like so mind blowing. Yourself, Lomachenko, like, first of all, is he as good as people say he is?
Yeah, he's good. So he is. When I sparred him, like I was sparring in Southpaw. I'm not used to fighting.
Oh, I heard this story.
Yeah,
Is it? I didn't know whether it was true or not. But did you like have to pretend you were Southpaw to get the spar?
yeah, they were looking for Southpaw work, and I says, I'm a Southpaw. I'll spar you. And then they went up and weighed me. They didn't believe my weight because I'm real tall for the weight. I was 135 at the time. It was before my debut. And then went in and sparred with him, 5 good solid rounds with him. Unbelievable experience.
Like that. I mean, how old would you have been at that time? You would have been like 19 or 20, right?
Yeah, 20, I think. 20, yeah, was it 4? Yeah.
Where does that confidence come from? Like, whatever about, you know, a high level elite boxer to do that with, but Lomachenko, arguably the greatest fighter of all time, like to have that confidence to be like, here, I'm just going to blag it and say I'm Southpaw and get in and spar him. Was that like yourself, or was it your dad? Was it your coaches? Where did it come from?
No, I wanted to spar him even when we were at him. I knew he'd be there, and we're sort of going looking for it. So
Yeah.
to share the ring with Lomachenko was a great experience. Even before I made my pro debut, like it was unbelievable. So it was.
So, like, how do you approach a situation like that? As somebody who hasn't sparred Lomachenko and who doesn't have high level spars, like, do you go in? Do you show him respect? Do you just play it by round? Like, how do you break it down?
Nah, I just went in and sparred like normal. Just worked on what I was doing best. So just did what I always do. Just treat him like a normal guy. He's just a normal human being. So treat him.
What would you say? Obviously, we know that there's a code of sparring, so you can't give anything away. But what would you say is the biggest thing that you notice in terms of like how he is in the gym and how he performs?
Yeah, he's very focused. So he is. Once he comes in, he's really focused, and in the ring, his footwork's probably what makes him his best. His footwork's unbelievable. He makes his angles, and he's an all-round great fighter, and he's a pound for pound, I reckon, at the minute. So
Absolutely, I agree with you there. When we look at your age group and we look at the fighters that are in your age bracket, will we say, we're in a time now where like social media is everything. There's a big argument, or not an argument, but there's a big discussion that's consistently has about, the social media fighter, the fighter that can sell loads of tickets. Yourself and Aaron are just proven time and time again, from obviously the amateur record and now into pro, that you guys have like an incredible skill, an incredible talent that seems to be just developing and growing the more that you fight and the more that you kind of develop the skill. Do you have an opinion on those that are successful in boxing and that don't really have the skill level, but they're successful on social media, so opportunities are presented to them? Do you worry about something like that? Do you think about it? You know, how do you see it?
Yeah, it's important to keep busy on social media, but you have to do your fighting inside the ring. Like, no matter how good you can talk outside it, but you have to leave it all in the ring. And then when it comes to the bit, just perform. You have to perform inside there. But we stay focused on the job and task. Stay ready.
What's been the biggest bit of advice that you've been given in your boxing career, and who was it from?
Biggest advice, I'm not really sure. Freddie Roach always tells us to just keep your hand up and hit and don't get hit. So always follow that. Yeah, you have to hit and not get hit.
Well, that's a very common thing that we hear all the time. But you'll hear that on your first day in a boxing gym, and you'll hear that all the way being a professional boxer. So there must be something to it.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest lesson that you've learned in all of this?
Biggest lesson, just you have to keep training hard. No matter how much you're winning or how well you're doing, you have to stay ready and always be focused. If you let any slip at all, you'll it's a dangerous sport. You can get beat, you can get knocked out. So you have to stay ready at all times, and every time you go into the ring, you're 100%. You're 100% committed and ready. So that's what we do. We go in 100%.
What's your goal? Your end destination? What will you achieve that you can say, do you know what? I've done it all now. It's time to leave.
I'd like to be a world champion and bring world titles back to Ireland.
Yeah. We need a national holiday. So please, we need another one.
Yeah, both me and Aaron bring back world titles to Ireland.
I don't know if you guys are old enough, but do you know the runner Sonia O'Sullivan?
No.
Oh, you're probably too young. But when she won, oh God, was it an Olympic medal? I think it was been Olympic goals. Like it was kind of like the World Cup when Ireland, got into the quarterfinals, like 1994. You probably weren't even alive, were you?
97.
You weren't alive.
No, I was born in 97.
Shit. Okay, you definitely don't remember. But like we had this thing, it's like a national celebration, where everyone was on the streets. There was like parades going down like country lanes and everything. That's what we need when you guys win world titles.
Yeah, bring them back to Monaghan.
Yeah, 100%. When you look at the fighters at our elite level now that have won the world titles and who've done great things, who are they? Who are the ones that have inspired you?
Barry McGuigan, he came from our home club in Smithborough. He was
Oh,
really
no way! Wow.
He came out of the same boxing club as us, and we trained there. That's where the club we came out of. And big Kevin McBride as well. He beat Mike Tyson, the last man. He came out of the boxing club down where we trained as well. So them there guys are all, we wanna do what they did.
Wow, that's incredible. I didn't know that at all. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Have you met him since?
Who's that, Barry?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've met him, yeah, since that, yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. That's so good.
Yeah. He came to the club when we were younger, and we did some pad work with him as well. So yeah.
Brilliant. What's your favourite combination to throw on pads?
1-2 left hook to the body. I like throwing that. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. 2 left hook.
What is when you look at like winning the world titles and doing everything that you want to do with your career, there's obviously a degree of greatness. You need to be great in some capacity to achieve that. But other than winning the world title, what in your opinion is greatness to you? What makes a great boxer, or a boxer that we look back in history and think that was a great fighter?
Well, an exciting fighter. I think you have to be exciting in this game and put on a show. But as long as you keep winning, you have to put on a show and not take any damage in the ring, not get hit. Try to avoid as much damage as possible, but at the same time, you have to put on a show for the people. It's the entertainment business.
Does that put a pressure on you? That pressure, like what we said about having the undefeated streak or trying to get the knockout. When does the thought of, oh God, I kind of want to be an exciting fighter, does that come into your mind, or is that just something that naturally happens and you can kind of think about it once you've fought?
Yeah, I'd say it just naturally happens. All my focus is on to win each fight when it's there, but I'm not really, worried about putting on a show. It just happens naturally, and then it'll come itself.
I hear you. So while we were talking, viewers have a chance to listen or to send in questions that they want to ask you while we were talking. So I'm going to go into the question box and have a look and see what everyone is asking. So Too Much Tev has asked, hello, I would like to know how long that you've been boxing.
I've been boxing since I was 8 years old. Me, my brother, and my older brother went down to the boxing club. So Aaron was 6 and my older brother was 10.
No way, so you're in the middle?
Yeah, I'm in the middle, yeah.
Do you have middle child syndrome?
I don't know.
So Sees the Tease has asked, how do you get mentally prepared for a fight?
Just staying focused all the time, and we have our routine, follow our schedule. My dad writes everything out for us, and he takes note on everything we do. Each spar we do, he has it all noted down, and we look at other camps and we follow each camp as it comes.
Is your dad a little bit of a mastermind when it comes to the three of you guys training?
Yeah, he's a lot of it behind the work. Yeah, he does a lot of work as well.
We should have probably got him on for an interview then. Let's have a look here and see. Walter Flynn has asked, do you have any desire to win an Irish title in your professional career?
Yeah, if the opportunity comes or the stage comes, yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's fair to say like that you kind of, Jesus Christ.
Oh, wow.
I got that thing where I jumped.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like when yourself and Aaron are kind of like doing something a little bit different with your careers. Like you're kind of gone a much, I won't say interesting, but you've just been given such a massive opportunity. Like it's just one of those things, I imagine, where you just have to take it with both hands and run with it.
Yeah, definitely. Over in America, you have to take the opportunity when it comes, and in a few years, then we'll bring fights back to Ireland and the UK. So once we step up the ladder.
Absolutely. No pressure. We're counting on you. No pressure though, right?
No.
Karen has asked, if you had to quarantine with 5 people, dead or alive, who are you choosing?
Who to choose? I'm not sure. Muhammad Ali, one of them.
Yes.
Mike Tyson, another one, yeah. LeBron James.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I don't know. That's it, really, I can think of.
That'll do. That's a good quarantine house. That's good. Well, do you have any opinion on Mike coming back?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think? Because it's split. The boxing world is split. People are saying there's no way that he shouldn't be allowed, he's too old. The last time we saw him out, he wasn't even half the fighter he used to be. And then others are saying, I don't care whether he's fighting a rooster, I just want to see Mike Tyson back.
Yeah, a lot of people want to see him back. I'd say he could come back for like a 4-rounder or something with Holyfield maybe. But I think that's all that they'd be able to do is maybe 4 rounds, and then it'd be very hard once to come back, after a few rounds. But it's interesting to see. You never know. Once Mike makes a comeback, he looked pretty good in the pad. So
he did, but also pad work can be deceiving, right? We can be made to think that like that someone is really impressive on pads. Right, let's take one more question. Shane has asked, apart from boxing, do you watch any other sports like MMA? Question mark.
Yeah, I watch MMA and also watch soccer, Sport Liverpool. Big Liverpool fan.
Get out of it.
Yeah. Ian Aaron, both Liverpool fans.
No way, I support Spurs, but look,
Oh,
it could be worse.
yeah, it could be worse. Could be an Arsenal.
It could be an Arsenal, exactly, yeah. First rule of this show, I'll never interview an Arsenal supporter. No, I'm joking. But with MMA, because obviously your age group, like MMA is such a massive, you know, people are starting to now like start MMA because obviously the rise of Conor McGregor and of the UFC and the whole lot. So your age group is kind of like the target market for starting training MMA. Was there ever, you know, did you ever consider MMA? Did you ever look at groundwork, or has it always just been boxing?
No, I never really looked much at MMA. It was always boxing. And then when the MMA started getting popular here in Ireland, when McGregor came through, but never really thought much about it. Watch it, like it's really good to watch. It's exciting. You never know what will happen in it as well. You know, someone can knock out at any time.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's one of those things, isn't it, where there's so many variables as opposed to boxing, where it's just, you know, one variable.
Yeah.
But let's just take one final question. Emma has asked, did you have any inspirations growing up? If so, who?
Growing up, I always looked up to Muhammad Ali, watching him growing up a lot, you know, inside the ring and outside. But he was the main figure that I always looked up to him, and Manny Pacquiao as well. I always looked up to Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, some good choices. They're the kind of, I imagine as a fighter, that's the dream, to have, you know, young fighters or young people, like when they're asked who's your favorite fighter or who inspired you, you get to say, you know, they say your name, you know, and that's a great indicator that you've done great things in sport.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I'd like to be like in a few years.
Absolutely. We'll project, we'll visualize and say that it is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But listen, Stevie, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Great. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. And best of luck when you go back to the States. Looking forward to seeing when your next fight is announced. And hopefully one day we get to do a proper interview.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks very much.
Okay, talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.